Hi everyone, welcome back to Metanoia. My name is Carrie Jane, and today I'm going to be talking about what it means to see the number 911. This could also be applied to similar number sequences like, I don't know, 919, 919. Maybe you see 919 on the clock a lot. It's going to have a similar message. Any variation of this number combo is going to have a similar message, so just keep that in mind. If you would like a reading with me, or if you would like to support this channel, please check out the links in the description. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe whenever you can on my videos, because that helps me a lot. It is a warm day. The AC is not on, and so all the windows are open. And you're probably going to hear a lot of background noise. It is a Saturday. We are in quarantine. I live in suburbia. This is how it is, okay? And also, I don't have a lot of light today. I'm sorry. It's the middle of the day, but it's just very cloudy and a little bit harder to see me. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope what I have to say is useful to you. So let's begin with talking about the number 1 and the number 9. The number 1 is about beginnings, and the number 9 is about endings. One is about beginning a cycle, the other is about ending a cycle. And so we have two completely different numbers here, and yet I see a common thread between the two, especially when it comes to the life path numbers. In that frame of reference specifically, I often see that the number 1 life path is about leadership. Obviously, they're the leader. They're about initiative, hard work, success. Now, the number 9 also has this kind of air of purpose, but it's in a different manner. Rather than constantly working towards being the leader and gaining success, the 9 often encounters itself in some kind of leading position anyway, because it has what the world needs. Essentially, it is the humanitarian number, and so you may not like it or not, but as a 9 life path, or perhaps someone who has a lot of 9s in their chart, or perhaps they're experiencing some other kind of 9 phenomenon in their lives. They kind of find themselves in this position where they have to pursue a higher calling. And I think the 1 and the 9 really understand that a lot in their own very unique ways, because they're so different. But I've always seen the 1 and the 9 kind of have this commonality. So right off the bat, we see this very important message about a higher purpose. I think that I talk about the idea of higher purpose a lot in my videos, so perhaps this is going along with that. Maybe you're seeing this along with a lot of other numbers that I've already talked about that kind of want us to do this higher purpose, like the 717 video that I did. I felt like that was a little bit more from a calling perspective, being called to pursue this divine purpose, being called to come back into that air of divinity and love that you already know. Whereas the 1 and the 9 put together create something a little different, in that we are witnessing the ending and the beginning of something. So I think the most common reason why a lot of people are seeing this number is because they are literally in between something. Something either has just ended or is about to end, and their focus is either abruptly or willingly being pushed in a different direction. You're looking at a different horizon. And this could be very literal, but it might not be. Maybe actually your environment is exactly the same, Maybe you have the same job, or living in the same place, have the same exact relationship. So maybe everything is kind of stagnant in that way. But you might be going through some sort of internal transformation. And I think that's why people see this number a lot. It's like they are starting to walk a different path, essentially. And where they're going is going to be something completely different. It's going to be more closely tied into their purpose. Not that what they were doing before was not their purpose, but something definitely had to be let go, which is the 9. The 9 is the huge factor in this. It is what separates it from, those other sequences that I talked about, like with the 717, the ones with the other numbers, the master numbers with the other numbers. It's less about just pursuing your higher purpose. It's like all that, but also something really needs to be let go, or you are actually actively doing that right now, and the world is reflecting that back to you. Maybe you're seeing this number because it's time to reimagine your life. Maybe you're seeing this number because you have a deeper capacity to imagine a better life that you're not using right now. Maybe you're seeing this number because you need the confidence to pursue that new horizon. You need the confidence to let that thing go that you've been carrying around. Like I said before, and time again, it will depend on your unique circumstance. A unique way to interpret this number sequence is that it could be challenging the ego. In fact, perhaps what we need to change or let go of is less literal and actually more internal, and being that it's about the ego. And I say that because the number 1 is about the individual, and so because of that, it can hint towards the inflation of self. And even the number 9 can hint towards the inflation of self. Because I think that especially when you filter the vibrations of these numbers through human beings who are limited, I often say the human condition is a disability. You also find this issue with the ego as well. And that can manifest in any number of ways, not just through narcissism, as we all know, not just through feeling like you're better than everyone else, or wanting to be better than everyone else, or feeling like you know that you're better than everyone else. It can mean many different things, because the hyper focus on the self really leads to like a whole rainbow of possibilities in the spectrum of human psychology. So I'm not going to go into that. That is another video. I've already talked about what is ego in the past, so I'm not going to talk about that here. I think that because the 9 is associated with reaching higher ground through evolution, the practice of doing that often means having to deal with ego as well. So this is just something to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out why you're seeing this number, just trying to decipher why this number is following you around a lot. And I also want to say that personally, and I have not seen this anywhere else yet, but personally, I really feel like this number sequence has something to do with karma. And I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, but bear with me. Maybe this will help you in your understanding. I don't know. Or maybe it'll just be interesting. But yeah, I think that this is a very karmic vibration because it's about endings and beginnings. It's about the interim. To put it into a visual perspective, and I do believe I have kind of like a drawing here. Yeah. Imagine for a second that the bottom is 1, let's just say, and the top here is 9. They are kind of in a similar place if you look at them through this through the lens of a cycle, okay? Through going through 1 through 9 over and over and over again, you can kind of see it as a spiral, or a circle, but then a spiral, because you are evolving, you're ascending throughout this process. You're not exactly in the same place that you were, but you are going through these cycles, So there's this common thread here where we see the end meets the beginning. And it's quite possible that whatever you're going through right now is serving as this really strange kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a mirror, or I think I just keep thinking of the snake eating its own tail, you know? Perhaps look at the symbolism of that. And I don't, sorry that this is not so helpful, but I keep thinking of the song of Ending Start by Metric. So if you're curious, look up the lyrics to that song, listen to the song. It's got this like deep sort of mystical energy about it. And at the end she says, ending starts with answers. But yet she sings it in this way where it kind of sounds like it feeds into one another. It's like ending starts with answers, starts with ending, like, at least that's how I'm interpreting it. Like, it's not, she doesn't sing it exactly like that, but at the end she has this kind of echo behind the words. And I think that is kind of like the spooky, deep evolutionary perspective from this vibration, in my opinion. That's like kind of what I always get off of it, if that makes any sense. But coming back a little bit to a more grounded place, away from the evolutionary perspective, I wrote down here that it's about karma. It's about letting go so that light can come in and we can feel the mastery of the one energy. So perhaps the 9 is the key to the 1. Maybe we are reaching forward, we are doing so and so, but the world is letting us know that we have to let go first. So that's another possibility there. Like the quote from that song, when we let go of something, we can gain something, and this turns a new leaf for us. Ending starts with answers. This truth turns a new leaf for us, and we are welcomed with clarity and rejuvenation. This kind of like fuels our work. You know, we don't need to just be divinely inspired and then have that exist in our heads. Like, we gotta actually do something here. So, you know, that's why we're here. This is as much as you could do as a soul, I think, is to decide to submerge yourself in this density and do a bunch of crazy stuff. So I think that often when we're seeing this number, we're being reminded of that on some level. That is, of course, very unique to all of us. I also wrote here the word disruptive innovation, which is a word that I discovered from a YouTube channel when exploring a topic that I'm interested in, something for another day. And it got me thinking, like, I really liked that word disruptive, or rather that phrase, disruptive innovation. And I was thinking, like, all innovation is disruptive if it's true innovation, because it challenges the status quo and it involves us to let go of what we had in order to create the new. And often this is met with resistance. All innovation is met with resistance. And yet if we looked closer, we would see that innovation is just a means to enhance what we always wanted, what we always needed in a civilization or on an individual level. Innovation is so that we can continue to have what we have, but make it better. Make it less costly to each other and ourselves. Get, quality over quantity, all these things become something to discuss. But I really like the idea of also disruptive innovation in the midst of this place where we're at the end meets the beginning and the beginning meets the end. So thank you for joining me on this journey throughout this number sequence. Please let me know if you have any questions. And stay tuned for the next video. I think that I will be announcing a new service that I have coming to you guys for numerology. And yeah, as always, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.